The Faceless Men are one of the most mysterious and compelling factions in the Game of Thrones universe, originating in George R.R. Martin's epic series, A Song of Ice and Fire. Shrouded in secrecy, these assassins serve as both agents of death and devout followers of the many-faced god. Their reputation for anonymity, precision, and unwavering devotion to their creed makes them a captivating subject. Below are 10 fascinating facts about the Faceless Men, exploring their origins, practices, and significance. The Faceless Men trace their origins to the Valyrian Freehold, the vast empire of dragon lords that ruled much of the known world before its collapse. During Valyria's dominance, its mines were worked by slaves, who endured horrific conditions as they toiled in pursuit of wealth and power for their masters. Among these slaves, a figure arose who came to be known as the first Faceless Man. This individual, witnessing the suffering of his fellow slaves, began offering the gift of death as a form of release from their agony. What began as an act of mercy for the oppressed soon expanded to include the oppressors. The first Faceless Man killed a Valyrian master, claiming that death is a gift that belongs to all regardless of status. This foundational act marked the birth of the Faceless Men's philosophy and their connection to the many-faced god, whom they believe embodies all deities of death across cultures. Over time, the Faceless Men left Valyria and established their headquarters in Braavos, the secretive city founded by escaped slaves. Their sanctum, the House of Black and White, became a place of worship, training, and death. Within its walls, initiates undergo rigorous physical and spiritual training, learning not only the art of assassination but also the practice of surrendering their identities. This process involves profound self-denial and humility, as aspirants must abandon their former lives and accept that they are no longer individuals but instruments of the many-faced god. Their creed teaches that death is not to be feared but embraced as a natural part of life. This belief underpins their work as assassins, as they see themselves not as murderers but as divine agents carrying out the will of their god. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Faceless Men is their mastery of disguise, achieved through a process that is equal parts alchemy and magic. By harvesting the faces of the dead, they can literally take on new appearances. However, this transformation is not merely physical. It requires the assassin to immerse themselves in the persona of the individual whose face they wear, adopting their habits, mannerisms, and even memories. This ability makes them virtually undetectable, enabling them to strike anywhere, at any time without warning. The magic behind this practice remains a closely guarded secret, adding to the air of mystery surrounding the group. It is clear, however, that the Faceless Men demand complete emotional and psychological commitment from their members, as even a trace of individuality can compromise their mission. The Faceless Men's services are not freely offered. They come at a price. Their fees are exorbitant, often amounting to small fortunes, and payment is made in many forms, not just coin. The high cost of their services ensures that only the wealthiest and most desperate individuals can afford to hire them. However, the Faceless Men are selective about the contracts they accept, guided by their own moral code and the will of the many-faced god. They are not mere mercenaries. Their actions are steeped in religious devotion. This combination of financial exclusivity and moral discernment has earned them a fearsome reputation as assassins who cannot be bought or swayed once they accept a task. Despite their rigid beliefs and practices, the Faceless Men do not view themselves as omnipotent. They see death as the ultimate equalizer, a force that spares no one and cannot be cheated. Their devotion to this principle is evident in the House of Black and White, where statues of death deities from various cultures coexist in harmony. This inclusivity reflects their belief that all gods of death are simply aspects of the many-faced god. The house also serves as a sanctuary for those seeking an end to their suffering, as anyone who drinks from its poisoned fountain is granted a painless death. This dual function, as both a place of worship and a site of execution, reinforces the Faceless Men's role as arbiters of life and death. Among the Faceless Men's most famous disciples is Arya Stark, whose journey from a vengeful noblewoman to a trained assassin forms one of the most compelling arcs in A Song of Ice and Fire. Arya's time at the House of Black and White reveals much about the Faceless Men's methods and philosophy. Her struggles with identity and her refusal to fully surrender her sense of self highlight the tension between personal agency and absolute devotion required by the Order. Ultimately, Arya's departure from the Faceless Men demonstrates that their path is not for everyone. However, her training equips her with the skills and mindset to exact her own form of justice, proving that even partial immersion in their teachings can be transformative. The Faceless Men's influence extends far beyond Braavos. They are rumored to have agents and informants scattered across the world, enabling them to gather intelligence and carry out missions with unparalleled efficiency. Their reputation alone is enough to inspire fear and respect, as few dare to cross them or risk becoming their target. However, their reach is not limited to individuals. Some speculate that the Faceless Men played a role in the doom of Valyria, the catastrophic event that destroyed the Valyrian freehold. According to this theory, the Faceless Men sought to end the suffering of the slaves and bring down the empire that had birthed so much cruelty. While there is no concrete evidence to support this claim, it underscores the perception of the Faceless Men as a force capable of shaping history from the shadows. Their connection to the Iron Bank of Braavos further amplifies their power and influence. Both institutions share a Braavosi origin and a reputation for discretion, efficiency, and ruthlessness. While there is no official link between the two, it is plausible that the Faceless Men and the Iron Bank occasionally align their interests. After all, the ability to eliminate rivals or debtors could be a valuable asset for a financial institution as formidable as the Iron Bank. This potential alliance adds another layer of intrigue to the Faceless Men, suggesting that their operations may intersect with the world's political and economic machinations in ways that are not immediately apparent. The Faceless Men's philosophy is rooted in the concept of balance, which is intricately tied to their belief in death as the ultimate gift. This ideology aligns with their perception of the many-faced God, who they believe represents death in all its forms across cultures and religions. They are neither inherently benevolent nor malevolent, operating beyond the binary moral frameworks that govern most factions in the world of A Song of Ice and Fire. This neutrality allows them to fulfill their role as impartial arbiters of death, serving those who can pay their price without prejudice or personal judgment. Their work reflects their view that life and death are merely two sides of the same coin, each necessary to maintain the cosmic order. The process of becoming a Faceless Man is grueling and transformative, designed to strip initiates of their individuality and reshape them into vessels of the many-faced God's will. Trainees must undergo various physical and spiritual challenges, ranging from mastering the arts of combat and poison to learning the psychological discipline required to embody a new persona. However, the most significant test involves the renunciation of one's identity. Aspirants are required to surrender their names, memories, and attachments, symbolizing their total devotion to the collective and their God. This renunciation is more than a ritual. It is a psychological and spiritual metamorphosis. Those who fail to let go of their former selves risk being deemed unworthy and may face exile or death. One of the Faceless Men's most unnerving traits is their unshakable calmness in the face of death. This composure stems from their faith and training, as they see death not as an end but as a release. Their equanimity is reflected in their demeanor, which is often described as emotionless and detached. This lack of visible emotion serves a practical purpose, making them inscrutable and difficult to read. It also underscores their role as instruments of the many-faced God, free from the distractions of personal ambition or fear. Their ability to navigate life with this level of detachment makes them uniquely suited to their work, as they can approach each mission with the precision and clarity required to succeed. Another compelling facet of the Faceless Men is the moral ambiguity surrounding their work. While their belief system frames them as servants of a divine purpose, their actions often provoke ethical questions. Are they liberators, offering the gift of death to those who seek it, or are they manipulators, profiting from the suffering and desperation of others? This duality is exemplified in their willingness to accept contracts on individuals whose deaths may serve dubious motives. Despite their spiritual justification, they are not immune to criticism, as their services can be used to perpetuate cycles of violence and power struggles. This complexity makes them one of the most enigmatic and morally layered factions in the Game of Thrones universe. The House of Black and White itself is a testament to the Faceless Men's philosophy and craftsmanship. Its unassuming exterior belies the depth and complexity of what lies within. Inside, visitors encounter an eerie yet serene atmosphere, with its cavernous halls and numerous altars dedicated to various death deities. The most iconic feature is the Hall of Faces, where the preserved visages of the dead are displayed. This macabre collection serves as both a tool for their disguises and a symbol of their creed, illustrating the universality of death. The hall's haunting beauty and spiritual significance make it one of the most memorable locations in A Song of Ice and Fire and a reflection of the Faceless Men's worldview. The Faceless Men's influence on Westeros, though subtle, cannot be underestimated. Their willingness to train Arya Stark, a member of one of the continent's most powerful families, demonstrates their potential to shape events indirectly. Arya's training and subsequent actions illustrate the profound impact the Faceless Men can have on individuals and, by extension, the broader world. However, their role in the story is not limited to Arya. Their reputation as master assassins looms large, serving as a reminder of the fragile line between life and death that defines the series. Their mere presence in the narrative adds an element of suspense, as their capabilities and motivations remain shrouded in mystery. The Faceless Men's history raises intriguing questions about their long-term goals and the extent of their power. Are they content to serve as facilitators of death, or do they have a larger agenda? The theory that they played a role in the doom of Valyria suggests that they are not mere bystanders but active participants in shaping history. If true, this revelation would position them as one of the most influential forces in the world of A Song of Ice and Fire. Whether they aim to maintain balance, dismantle oppressive systems, or simply serve their god, their actions hint at a depth of purpose that extends beyond their role as assassins. In addition to their religious and philosophical beliefs, the Faceless Men possess an unparalleled mastery of assassination techniques. Their methods are meticulously tailored to each target, ranging from subtle poisons to staged accidents. This adaptability ensures that their work often goes undetected, preserving their reputation for infallibility. The combination of physical skill, psychological insight, and magical abilities makes them unmatched in their craft. Their dedication to perfection is evident in their training regimen, which demands not only technical proficiency but also an understanding of human behavior and the ability to manipulate it. This comprehensive approach solidifies their status as the most formidable assassins in the known world. The Faceless Men's devotion to their creed is perhaps best encapsulated in their willingness to sacrifice themselves for their mission. Unlike other groups that value loyalty to their members, the Faceless Men prioritize their collective purpose above all else. Individual lives, including their own, are insignificant compared to the will of the many-faced god. This selflessness, while admirable in its own way, also highlights the starkness of their worldview. It is a perspective that leaves little room for personal desires or relationships, emphasizing the absolute nature of their faith. This level of commitment ensures their effectiveness but also underscores the cost of their devotion. The Faceless Men remain one of the most captivating elements of A Song of Ice and Fire, embodying the themes of identity, morality, and the inevitability of death. Their enigmatic nature and complex philosophy offer a stark contrast to the political and personal dramas that dominate the series, providing a unique lens through which to explore the world George R.R. Martin has created. Whether viewed as agents of balance, purveyors of death, or shadowy manipulators, the Faceless Men challenge readers and viewers to grapple with profound questions about the nature of life and the meaning of identity. Their legacy, like their creed, is timeless and unyielding,